topic, as we indicated earlier, has to do with small business. But Ms. Parham, let's have you during this segment to give us some kind of definition in terms of networking, because I think that both of us, the two of you have admitted that while a business can be successful, that it can be much more successful if you can cooperate and work with other individuals. So let's talk about networking.
Okay, I would just like to first preference and say a lot of small business owners do not have a lot of money to put into large marketing and advertising. And so the base of being able to generate business and stay in business comes from networking. So networking is a mutual joy of giving and receiving information, advice, referrals, and it is creating a relationship of nurturing and developing each other with respect, understanding, and integrity with each other.
And so it's sort of a personal kind of thing that you have to be involved in with the individuals that you network with, and it's a give and take kind of thing.
Yes.
Would you say that, Ms. Holmes?
And one thing that we have learned that is not true is that it's not just passing out business cards, because there's so many times we can go to a function and just collect business cards and don't even know who we met, or it just becomes a stack of business cards on your desk. It's not that. It's building relationships. Like Trudy said, it's about getting out there and getting to know people and know their service, know what they're doing, and that's how you get doors open for you. Not necessarily passing out a card, not necessarily being a part of a program, but getting to know people where they can vouch for you and say, you know what, I know for a fact that this is a good company. And word of mouth is, people may not acknowledge this enough, but word of mouth is the #1 form of getting other business. So that constant referral. And Trudy and I talk about this all the time, of just as you're networking, be a team player. Be willing to give your time to someone else, you know, tag team a company and say, okay, well, you may not be able to use my service, but maybe you may be able to use her service. Be a source of referrals, a source of information for people to call you. I get phone calls every day and say, hey, do you know who does this, who do this, who do that? Because they know I'm out there. They know I'm crossing people's path all the time. So I have those names and numbers readily to give, and I have no problem about giving that. And I feel like every time I do that for someone else, someone's going to do that for me.
And it's being aware that everybody needs somebody. And if you check anyone who's been successful, they did not make it on their own. No one is the Lone Ranger. So whenever you meet someone, they're always looking for something, I need something, and you can be of service to them. And you may not get when you give, but it may come back sometime later.
In another form, right.
And so essentially what we're saying here is that it has to do with personal relationships.
Personal relationships.
It's still better, no matter how large the corporation might be or how small it might be. It still depends upon that personal relationship that you can bring to that situation.
And I also want to just say, it goes beyond just mere, if I meet you and say, hi, Dr. Haney, and then leave. I said, well, I didn't network because I didn't get to know you, and you didn't take time to get to know me, what I had to offer, what you had to offer, so we really don't know each other. So networking goes beyond the simple surface of, hi, how are you?
Right.
And of course, would it be fair to say that networking is not only something that is done by small businesses, but businesses everywhere? And
everywhere.
So essentially when you talk about networking, you're talking about how to deal with human beings in whatever condition, in whatever situation you find them in.
In whatever business that you're in. You know, if you look at the very successful people here in Nashville, they have their network, they have their sources and their referrals. They are into things and they are involved in things, and that's where you want to go. You want to go where, you know, if you want to imitate someone who's doing something right, you need to go where they are going. You need to find out how they are doing it, and the best way to do that is becoming involved in networking organizations to get you there.
And I think, Ms. Parham, you expressed, I think, what is one of the great mental science kind of things, is that you have to give before you can get.
Exactly.
Expand upon that and how you use that in your training.
Okay, one of the things I do is as you give out service to meet the needs of others, they get what they need, then they are happy and they are pleased, and then they will in turn refer other people to you as well. A lot of my business is based on referrals from other people who have used the service. And so it's a matter of serving others and make sure it solves the problem that they have. And as you said, networking is not only local, but it's national. It's about business, meeting the needs of others and solving a problem that someone has.
Right.
And we all have problems like pest control. If I got bugs, I need Miss Home.
Call the vet.
And so those who might be sort of reluctant to become involved in networking, believing that somehow they can establish a business without working with others, can be very, very successful.
Let me say this.
They're working very hard.
Let me just say, they should call me because it requires you to have people skills. And part of my business is to teach people how to have people skills, know their strengths and their limitations. Some people start business because they know the task, but they don't know how to go out there and meet people and communicate. I do communication teaching skills. And so networking is all about having excellent people skills and being comfortable communicating with others.
And so that's what you mean when you say you're training, that there's a possibility that those who might have an interest and want to make, quote, money in terms of having a business, but at the same time might be reluctant to do those things that are necessary. They don't have to count themselves out, that you do provide that kind of training.
They need to develop their skills and develop the skills of others. So if they don't have the people skills, what they can do is hire and train the other people to acquire the skills.
And of course, I hate to raise this question, but once you have all of these skills, what about the resources that are available for small businesses, which is to say that you're small and you're out there and you need money to move, but at the same time, most of the capital that you have generally is almost startup kind of money. I mean, what are the resources available for people?
One thing I would just say before anyone get ready to start a business, at least begin to try to position yourself to have a business and look at your credit, look at your money, and begin to look at what bank relationships that you have, because I think a lot of business owners get out there and they think, this person will help me go forward. That is an illusion.
It is.
Yeah, well, that's essentially what we're trying to, what we're pointing out here is that you have to have a desire to establish a business, but at the same time, you have to have some kind of resources to carry into it. And if you got those resources and that desire, and plus then bring about those people skills, and then you're in a position to do what? To network.
Exactly.
It's very, very difficult to even do any of that before you can do any networking. And we're getting ready for this second commercial break, after which we'll come back and we'll let the two of you conclude this program. And we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break.